Thursday night. And it is the Evan and Aaron Show presents the Red and the Blue Soccer Chat. Welcome to our local haunt, our local hangout, Chatham Tap Fishers. This is Evan, my man Aaron. We're here to talk about red and blue soccer stuff. That's what we do, man. That's just what we do. And, you know, this week, I got to say that, school is starting back up for me. And, you know, it's been a rough week. I was tired. But, man, as soon as I heard that theme music, brother, I'm telling you, it just hit me in the right spot, buddy. Hit me in the right spot.
Perks
How
it right
are you
up,
doing?
doesn't it? I am in a much better mood than I expected to be when the week began,
Wow.
I can tell you. Yes, rock on. Sound is good. We appreciate that. Little feedback. Appreciate
Excellent.
it.
Kevin said it's okay.
Kevin says it's okay.
There you go.
And when Kevin says it's okay, it's usually time to do a shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's kind of early. It's kind of early.
It's never too early to do shots with Kevin. Yes. Rock on with your codpiece. Yeah, Evan, I'm definitely in a better mood to
Yes.
discuss this show tonight than I expected to be at about 2:45 in the afternoon on Monday.
Man.
And I guess just hop right in. You know, as I said in the blurb, it's just been a yo-yo of a season, really, for both clubs thus far. You know, Chelsea started out with a win, but not a very convincing win. And then a pretty decent performance against Spurs.
Yes.
United,
That should have been a win.
Yeah, it really should have
I
been.
think
If,
should
you know,
have been.
and I'm sure we're going to
We're
dive
gonna
into that. But United had, you know, a good early start for 10 minutes against Brighton and Hove, and then really just kind of fell apart defensively, got themselves back into it with a goal, but couldn't quite get over the hump. And then the second match against Brentford, you know, if that match is the catalyst to motivate this team and push them into where they need to be for the rest of the season,
Right.
then I'll be happy for it.
Absolutely.
And people need to understand,
Oh,
You said it was shot 30.
it
oh,
is shot 30.
my
All right,
goodness.
we're starting early here, folks.
What is happening?
Like Red Bull.
Oh, it's what?
Jaeger and Red Bull.
Jaeger Red Bull, wait. We may have a new sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying I rarely drink Jaeger, and this may not turn out well, but
Well,
it is what it is.
Cheers.
You're about to now.
Okay.
Cheers, guys. Love you.
Cheers.
Good friend of the
Love
pod,
it.
Kev.
Woo.
Oh. Was that his wedding?
You know what? Okay.
Or last year. It was lovely.
Okay.
It was a lovely time.
I'll take that. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
See?
I like that.
So,
You are a scholar and a gentleman.
Part of my job is to alter the negative image of Jaeger.
And I think we're doing that.
It doesn't taste as bad as you remember.
Guys, I'm
I try to do that every week.
I'm telling you, Jaeger and Red Bull.
It's for frat
I-
boys, but okay.
Well,
White trash martini.
wait a minute.
Anyway.
Why are we doing this right now?
We need a Jaeger theme.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you, man.
Love you, bye. This is why we come up here. This is why we do the show from here. You never know
The
who's gonna be
shenanigans.
around. The shenanigans.
Shenanigans. The tomfoolery.
Yes, the shithousery, if you will. You know, there's going to be some more ups and downs this season for both of these clubs.
Mm-hmm.
But if some of these early setbacks, you know, especially for United, who looked, you know, really poor in their first two games, if this Liverpool match can, you know, be a way for them to move forward, and obviously, you know, if Chelsea can use their setback at the weekend, I think that'll be beneficial. I gotta say, I was incredibly pleasantly surprised by what I saw from Manchester United
Oh, my goodness,
on
dude.
Monday. I would not have believed they would have had the team unity that was shown. And, you know, I don't know how true the narrative of, you know, dropping Maguire and Ronaldo were big choices, and I
Sure.
think it needed to happen
Yes.
for what Ten Hag wants. I don't like the negativity that comes with it. I'm on a lot of United message boards, and their talk about Maguire really disappoints me because, he has struggled, and I don't think anybody is aware of it more than Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
He knows the level he's supposed to be at. He's not been there. So I don't like that. But the positives on the field are just so immense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things I noticed about that match was every time United scored, they immediately turned the camera on Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, guys.
Well, that's that media narrative. They want to drive that wedge, and
but,
it's a anti-United thing too.
But here's what I'm saying: as literally a football fan, and obviously as your friend, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, this is some good soccer United's playing. They played together. They were united in defense. Everybody went to ground at least once during that match.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what Ten Hag. If anything, he was trying to instill in them. That's what he was trying to instill in them.
Yes, that they need to work together. They need to work for each other, and
Yes.
you saw a lot of that happening. I definitely think there were multiple changes that got made. Obviously Maguire and Ronaldo to the bench is a huge deal, but don't overlook Malacia coming in for Luke Shaw at left back. He was tremendous. He did a fantastic amount of work keeping Mo Salah at bay.
Yeah.
And for as poor and obviously picked on as Lisandro Martinez was against Brentford the week before, he was absolutely imperious.
Yes.
But we've not seen as a United fan, I don't know these guys that well. I didn't see Malacia in the Dutch league all that much. I didn't see Lisandro get to play. I've seen him play for Argentina and know he's good. But it was a little worrisome early on. But they're new, so those question marks are to be expected. To me, the real pleasant surprise was how involved, how active the work that Rashford and Sancho put in. Both sides of the ball, working to close down space.
Yep.
Absolutely causing problems for what I'd like to, I'm going to give myself a little kudos here and say early on, my predictions for the beginning of the season, Liverpool's still a good team, and let's face it, they were the better team for long stretches in that match for their possession, but they didn't do a lot with it, and then when they turned it over, they did look like they could be gotten at, and, Van Dijk, I think is definitely partially at fault for that first goal, as evidenced by James Milner really getting into him. And then there was a statistic that said Anthony Martial was the first person, I believe the only person, in the Premier League to dribble past Van Dijk 3 times in a match. And his turn on the halfway line to create space and then the ball in behind for Marcus Rashford.
Oh, my
goodness, look,
dude.
In the last 6 months, that ball to Marcus, his confidence wasn't there, and he would have put it wide or he'd put it into the goalkeeper.
Yep.
He composed himself at pace, and it was a reminder of what this kid was like 18 months to 2 years ago.
Yep.
Sancho, his movement, scored a nice first goal. He actually had so much time once he put Milner on his ass.
Oh, my God.
I mean, if you look at the replay, he has so much time. Bruno's in the corner pointing where to take the shot.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like it. It was really quite funny. And I have all the praise in the world for everybody. Dalot, who I've been down on, played really, really well.
Yep.
And De Gea, the rumors are now that Ten Hag wants Trapp or he wants Summer to come in, but for what we asked of David De Gea.
De Gea sighting, man. I mean,
well, and I think the best aspects of his game this time, most of the time you're talking about him for one or two reasons. One, he makes a world-class save and you're just like, how the hell did he do it?
Yes.
Or he makes kind of a bonehead mistake, like last week, cost some goals, especially from his feet. It's, I've defended him, but it's not why he's ever been out there. He's never been that type of goalkeeper. He's just one of the best shot stoppers that we've ever seen. But this week, clearly his instruction from Ten Hag was, if you're closed down at all, play it upfield, and we'll recycle.
Yeah.
And I know that's not necessarily what he wants, but it's look, when in doubt, play it out is always what you heard as a kid.
Yeah.
And I know that great teams figure out how to play out of the back, but sometimes, and you even watch City, You watch Liverpool, you watch Bayern Munich, all these teams that have made, turned it into what it is.
Yes.
Still sometimes get caught on the ball. And De Gea made good decisions getting the ball out, and United did good work with it, and then understood they weren't going to have the ball for long stretches of time.
Right.
And the mentality required to play without the ball, especially for guys who want to be on the ball. Bruno wants to be on the ball. Marcus wants to be on the ball. Jadon wants to be on the ball. But to have the mentality and commitment to saying, I'm only going to see it 25, 30% of the time, and then when I do,
I'm going to make it count.
Immediately make it count. So I was impressed. What did you see from it?
So here's what I want to lead in with right here. Yes.
So you're saying we're going to talk about Bruno?
Yeah. I am going to talk about Bruno, my friend, because here's the deal. Shithousery aside, right? If you watch this match and you saw his face as he's playing, if you saw his face as he made that cross, and Rashford put it away, this guy found himself, I think. He found himself in this match, and he found himself really loving the play. I think Bruno reasserted himself as part of the core of this team. I'm not sure that he put himself in that captain spot yet, but as Bruno Fernandes goes, so does Man U. At least in this match they did. He was the heart and soul of their attack. Like, this guy, he was everywhere in this match. And to see the joy, which is missing.
Yeah.
It was missing for a long time from United, and United is a team that plays with joy, that plays with fervor. He brought that on the field, and I saw him react in such a way. Yes, were there a couple times that Bruno tried to play the penalty and stuff like that? Absolutely.
That's who he is.
But that's who he is, and that's where this league is going. That's where
it's always been
part
of it.
It's always been part of it. But Bruno Fernandes, to me, Eric Ten Hag did the right thing in allowing this guy to be part of this match as far as the gameplay, to let him kind of do his thing. And when you let Bruno do his thing, Bruno creates plays like he created there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a thing of genius in my opinion. So Bruno Fernandes, man of the match for me.
For me, thank you. For me, and I hate to belabor the point, but when Bruno came into Manchester United, he came in halfway through the season. He came in the January transfer window a few years back and really set the league alight. Absolutely he was immediately involved in goals. You could see the impact he had on United. And he carried that on for a while. But I think he is somewhat in awe of Cristiano Ronaldo. He's definitely used to deferring to him for the Portuguese national team, and I think it has caused Bruno to shrink. Bruno has not been the same player over the last year or so, and I think it directly coincides with Cristiano being on the field. He's, if Cristiano's not there, Bruno takes penalties. Cristiano walks in and suddenly he's that man. And Bruno's not a Cristiano-type personality. He's not I need to be the biggest man on the field, right? That's not his personality. But the joy he plays with does seem to be stifled when he has to he seems to shrink a little bit. And I think we've seen Rashford shrink, although I think part of that was injuries.
Sure.
But we've not seen these guys at their best, and for a change. And just for one match. Look, Manchester United go away, I believe, to Southampton at the weekend. And that is going to be an interesting test. Are they going to have a letdown? Is all that passion just there because it was Liverpool? It's like, look, I don't care where Michigan and Ohio State are in the standings. When they play each other, it's a war.
It is a war.
When IU and Purdue meet on the basketball court, it's a war. Rivalries matter. Manchester United and Liverpool are the just most massive rivalry in English football.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be difficult to get excited for that.
No.
But if these guys walk out at Southampton early Saturday morning and stink the joint up, then we can kind of see where things are going. But if they come out and they just sweep Southampton's side, and again, there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be moments on the field where they're just not quite clicking.
Sure.
But if they bring the same energy, the same passion, the same unity that they did against Liverpool, they should beat Southampton badly.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think Man U has found themselves, and it's interesting because people, when you talk about sports, we now are starting to talk about sports psychology.
Yes.
Right? And I think you hit on something very, very key. The psychology of the team that was out there on Monday was a very much a mindset of like, okay, this is Old Trafford. We defend our house. We are out
For
there
a change.
For a change.
I mean, it was not Fortress Old Trafford for the last year or so. It did not scare people.
No, it was not. But now they've asserted themselves and
Yes.
they said, you know what, look, we are in our house. So when
Yeah.
you come to our house, it doesn't matter if you're Liverpool, doesn't matter if you're Everton, doesn't matter if you're Nottingham Forest, doesn't matter if you're Man City.
Yeah.
When you come here, prepare yourselves for a fight. And I think that they showed that, and they showed that in force
Yes.
on Monday, which is so impressive, dude. I literally am so excited for you. I'm going to wake up at 7:30 a.m.
Well,
on Saturday.
I appreciate that, and cheesy as it is, I couldn't find a good, clean Man U jersey to wear tonight, but I thought it was fitting to follow the mantra
Yes.
of our adopted coach,
Yes.
Lasso. You gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
You gotta have faith as a fan, and sometimes it's difficult. So let's transition.
I was going to say you're transitioning.
Now,
wait, here we go. Yeah, till we die.
Yeah.
I died so many times.
Well, it is difficult sometimes being
Yes.
a fan. I think, unfortunately, you could maybe see this coming a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not a 3-0, but I'll let you just kind of have the floor here. But if Bruno Mendy, or I'm sorry, Edward Mendy, don't confuse those guys.
Bruno.
See,
There
that's
you
how
go.
it goes. If Mendy gets rid of that ball first time and
Yes.
they don't give up an early goal
Yep.
and then turn around and give up one right after that,
Yep.
Chelsea might have found their way into that match.
Mm-hmm.
But Leeds truly outworked them and then caused problems with their work.
Yes.
Tell me how you're feeling.
Dude, let's go back a match, right?
Absolutely.
Let's go back to the Tottenham match. Chelsea played like the Chelsea I fell in love with. They took control. They were like, okay, we are at the bridge, and we are going to. You know what? We defend. Once again, there's a theme here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. There is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde
Absolutely.
theme here tonight, and I think both red and blue have experienced that this season. The issue is that red is Dr. Jekyll right now. I think that what we experienced the week before was our Dr. Jekyll. It's like, yes, we are able to play the type of football that Chelsea plays. We know we don't have a solid number 9, but yet we were able to get the ball around. We were able to create things to happen. Koulibaly had a great header goal that was wonderful. I'm going to say Rudiger-esque. And so that reestablished him as kind of our, main guy in the back. We were able to see Reece James do his thing. We were able to see, the guys up front doing their thing. It was just a great match. And some of the calls, I think, across the league, people were like, what the hell?
Yeah, there were some questionable calls in there.
Questionable calls. That, hey, one of the
GFLB
regulars there.
Daver.
That put aside, I have several things to say about this last match. Number one, Mendy, Edward Mendy. Do not take on an attacker after 36 minutes of nonstop pressure. Jesse Marsch had those guys playing incredibly well and kept the pressure up. You know, Mendy, you're a keeper, dude. You're one of the best in the league. I believe that. He's one of the best in the league. Be one of the best in the league. Get rid of that ball. That was a mistake. Yes, and we'll chalk it up. Well, okay, well, there you go. That was a mistake, but you don't score that goal unless Aronson and Leeds, unless they kept the pressure, if they didn't keep the pressure.
That goal came from 3 passes earlier.
Leeds made them pay.
Yeah.
And that's what a great team does. It makes you pay for your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, props to Jesse Marsch, props to the boys at Leeds. That first goal, you know what? That's on us. We got it. Here's what I will say, though. First half, Chelsea was on the attack a lot more than Leeds was.
Oh, sure.
A lot more. Second thing I want to say is Koulibaly killed us. Killed us by that stupid early penalty. And he knows better than that. Mm-hmm. He knows better. And then the penalty that counted that actually did help us, because you think about it, it's like, okay, goal differential. Yeah, let's stop this attack. Someone else could have taken it, but Koulibaly was there. Koulibaly took it, got a red card. Now he's out for the next match.
That was a really amateurish decision. You know, the first foul, you can look at it as maybe just being a little too aggressive.
Yep.
Trying to put his stamp on the match, seeing that things aren't going Chelsea's way a whole lot. But there was absolutely no need to commit an intentional foul in that position, and you have to know you're on a card, and you have to know the referee's going to send you for that. It was just that was high school level stuff there. That was like watching who was the Colts quarterback last year? Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz.
I mean, how many times have you been told not to roll right and throw back across your body? And this guy's an NFL quarterback.
You're
how
not
many
Brett
times
Favre, buddy.
Do you have to know that if you've picked up a foul, you've picked up a booking, you have to be smart about it, and then to commit such an obvious foul. There's not even I didn't mean to do it, or it wasn't a bad foul. Nah, bro. You committed an intentional foul in the center of the field, and you had coverage.
Yep.
There was no reason to do it. So the knock-on effect of that, I think, is going to be interesting to see who Chelsea puts on the field this weekend against Leicester.
Yeah. Second goal, it was a bad card on Sterling. I don't think Sterling deserved a card there. I don't think so.
It's a foul. I don't know that it's a card.
But here's the deal. Great header by Rodrigo. Beautiful header by Rodrigo. Nobody marked him.
No,
the guy was able to run in and out of the defense, and free header, excellent play. Mendy, I don't fault you for that, because that was just an excellent header.
Oh yeah, he's not at fault for that.
No. Third goal, Koulibaly couldn't be aggressive. He just couldn't. And Cucurella was off all game long.
Yeah.
Harrison wasn't marked at all.
No.
He wasn't marked at all. And the ball ricocheted, came down to Harrison. That happens.
The second ball, especially in the box, the second ball is just a killer.
Yeah.
You got to be switched on. You got to follow your guys. And I'm sure if you look at that replay, you're going to watch an awful lot of dudes just standing around while Leeds is active.
Yep, absolutely. And here's the final thing I'll say. We have no number 9.
No.
Havertz is killing us. The guy, his head hasn't been there all season.
But he's not a number 9.
He's not a number 9. But his head hasn't been. He hasn't looked like Havertz of 2021. Like even preseason into the first 3 matches, he hasn't looked like Havertz at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Where's Ziyech? Ziyech had an incredible strike. Guess who was in the way? Havertz.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Where's Mount? Mount is nowhere to be found, has some great opportunities, can't convert. Where's Chilwell? Chilwell's not getting playing time. He didn't get playing time.
Where's Pulisic?
What? That was my next point. Where's Pooley? Why do you wait? Why do you wait, Thomas Tuchel, to put in some fresh legs, some new perspective on it? Yeah, we've had all kinds of near misses.
Yeah.
but we do not have that killer instinct around goal. We don't have that killer instinct around goal, and we've talked about this before. You know, you think of Olivier Giroud. What would have happened?
He would come in handy.
Exactly, he'd come in handy. Super sub, right? What if, you know, we had an Olivier Giroud that we could bring in at the very end? Well, I honestly, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to throw it out, and Blues fans, you can come at me all you want. I think we have one in the making in Christian Pulisic. I think Pulisic pushes the tempo enough to change the match up front. I think that he can keep possession. I think that he can create, and he can score. I don't think that Tuchel is giving him the opportunity that he needs, and it hurts me to say this, kills me to say this, my friend. As an American, I would like to see Pulisic go to either, Italy or Leeds, and let Jesse Marsch do with him what he knows that he can do. I know you're shaking your head no, and I wanted to throw that out there because I knew it would be controversial, but think about it. Right now, he is sitting on the bench. One of the most promising young American players there are out there, and he's not getting playing time, dude. And something's not working. This isn't working.
Well,
it's not working, dude.
I don't disagree with that, but my pushback on playing Pulisic, for sending him to Leeds, is he's already demonstrated that the physicality and high pace of the league is a bit problematic for him. He's injury prone. And I'm not sure putting him in a team that is completely based around just high balls to the wall, pressure, getting physical with teams, disrupting their play is going to suit him. Now, I'm in total agreement if that Juventus deal could have come to fruition. I think that would have made a lot of sense. There's been a floated loan swap deal of Pulisic and Maguire going opposite directions. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I definitely believe that Maguire could help out Chelsea in the sense that, one, he just needs a change of venue. He needs a change of scenery.
Good point.
And Chelsea don't play quite the high line that Manchester United do, so I don't think his pace would be problematic. Chelsea do like to play that longer ball a bit more. Yep. Not that they're a long ball team, but Maguire can play that ball between the lines. So I think it's, strangely enough, I think it's almost a better deal for Chelsea than it would be for United, because I think Pulisic would run into the same problems he has at Chelsea, and that is there's other really, really good players in those positions, and his durability works against him. If he went to Spain or if he went to Italy, I think he could look really, really good. But I definitely agree with you that he does not really fit into what Chelsea's trying to do right now. Unfortunately, I can't figure out what it is Chelsea's trying to do. I don't really understand what the plan is, and maybe that just comes about by not having the personnel, and therefore you can't have your plan.
Here's what I'll wrap up with, is that we've said this, and I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, because I said this from the very beginning of the season. This is the way that Chelsea's season is going to go, guys.
Yeah.
This is the way it's going to be. We are going to be up and we are going to be down, and it's not going to be for like a 2 or 3 or 4 match run. It literally is going to be from match to match.
Yeah.
We don't know what's coming next. We don't know who's going to be on the pitch or anything like that. Yeah.
Good impersonation of Daly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with that analysis being done, we are now at our halftime.
Is it halftime?
It is halftime. Wow. And look, we are literally 50 seconds away from halftime, my friend. So that's really...
That assumes we actually have it. Well, yes. So long as we come in under an hour, we can post on Instagram. Apparently, that's our main concern.
I'm not sure we have another half hour stuff to talk about, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. But we are at our halftime shot, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, shout out to Chatham Tap Fishers. Aaron, why don't you hit us up with the Premier League times this weekend that Chatham Tap Fishers will be up?
Chatham Tap will be open at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and they will be serving that yummy, yummy breakfast. I highly recommend.
Deuce's eggs.
Deuce's eggs are pretty good. I've been going with bacon and toast lately, and the bacon is super, super crispy.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoy the bacon at CTF. Sunday, 11 a.m., no breakfast, but you can come in and enjoy the wings.
But Saturday, 10 a.m. with breakfast.
There
It
you go.
is.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest to the pod. We have Claire, who's here.
Hello.
Halftime shot.
Bartender extraordinaire.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
come on down to Chatham Tap whenever you get a chance, folks, but especially on the weekends.
And I'll be here both days.
Woohoo! Slanty.
Oh, that's a lot of shots. So, Evan,
Yes.
I want to ask you
Yeah.
real quick.
Yep.
Outside of Chelsea and Liverpool, or I'm sorry, outside of Chelsea and Manchester United, that's a horrible slip.
Oh my goodness.
Outside of Chelsea and Manchester United's
You
matches,
get your red card taken away from you.
right? Give me a highlight of the weekend. What did you see, good, bad, whatever, that just stood out in your mind as a memorable moment?
Well, I'm going to kind of, I don't know, I'm going to kind of foresee things here, be an oracle, if you will. The fact that Brentford and Everton are coming into the weekend both off of wins,
Yes.
they are playing some decent soccer, and it's quite surprising. The fact that Brentford has played as they have. Let's see. So they dropped one to Fulham. Unfortunately, one against Man U. But they got a draw against Leicester. Leicester. See? Southeastern Ohio, man. That's what it is. I think they're playing some pretty good soccer. They're playing some decent soccer. Are we still on?
We are still on. I'm just
Okay.
trying to look. I have
Man, you got a lot of work there, buddy.
right.
But that's my thing. I'm excited to see Everton start the year well. They dropped one to us, dropped one to Aston Villa, but both of those matches were pretty competitive. Came back, got a draw with Nottingham Forest. So I think that those two teams, honestly, I thought they would get steamrolled at the beginning of the season, but they came out and I think they're ready to play. So that one could be an exciting match because both of those teams, quite frankly, find themselves toward the bottom of the table, but they want to try and fight their way up. And I think that'd be a good match. So I'm going to say Everton and Brentford, man. They're my kind of like, interesting.
Well, dark horse action.
Yeah.
All right. I understand, especially with Frank. We want to see Frank do well. I've always
Frank.
been a fan of Frank, even when he played for Chelsea and was causing United problems. I've just always had a soft spot for the guy. I love the way he plays the game, and I hope he's a successful manager.
How about you, my friend?
For me, I tell you what, the Manchester City Newcastle match. I mean, I think after 5 minutes with City scoring, I think a lot of people were seeing a 3-4 nothing scoreline happening there.
Yeah.
And the way Newcastle fought back, pinned City back, and really said, we're not afraid of you.
Right.
We're going to go for it. And it set up a grandstand finish. It really could have gone either way. But just a tremendous, it was high-quality match. And you can see why now a lot of teams are looking for Alan St. Maximin and maybe Joel Linton. But if Newcastle can keep that group of players together, and look, they've got the money now. They can say, stay here.
Yep.
And I was a little surprised they didn't splash a bit more cash during the summer window. I don't know what the issue is there. I don't know what difficulties they have, but I was really expecting them to, bring in a veteran British player, somebody that has plenty of experience, kind of along the lines of what they've done with Kieran Trippier. A lot of experience, played at a high level, and I don't really have any one in particular that I'm suggesting because honestly they have solid players in some good positions, but I think they could obviously upgrade in a few places. But I tell you, it might be interesting if in 2 years we're talking about Newcastle as a team challenging for the top. Yeah, I mean, look, Nick Pope is a very good goalkeeper, and given the style that they play, he doesn't need to have, some of the other attributes that are being, the reason why De Gea is being shopped now,
Sure.
or rather not being shopped, but they're looking for other goalies, is because Trapp and Summer have that footwork that Ten Hag wants.
Yeah.
Pope doesn't necessarily need that right now for Newcastle. They're not trying to be Man City. They're trying to be one of the top 10, top 6 teams.
Right.
But you look, I mean, Fabian Schär is a really nice player in my opinion. Kieran Trippier has proved it. Bruno Guimaraes is really making a name for himself. Joe Linton has played well. Joe Willock has played well. Callum Wilson against kind of all, yes, thank you. Callum Wilson kind of against all other criticism has, I would say, made this his position. He's always sort of threatened to be this player, but he's finally becoming this. He's taking his opportunities.
Yeah.
And then Alan Saint-Maximin just scares the living shit out of defenders. This reminds me, and this is a bit of hyperbole, I get it, but Alan Saint-Maximin, when he gets on the ball and runs at people, he reminds me of Wilf Zaha, and he reminds me of early Cristiano Ronaldo. He gets the ball, and he has one thought in mind. I'm getting into that box.
Well,
I'm getting there, and you're going to have to figure out what to do about me. And we saw, Newcastle's second goal came about because Alan Saint-Maximin makes a great run across the top of the 18. Stones really has no choice but to bring him down.
Right.
And then you've got Kieran Trippier taking a phenomenal free kick.
Yes.
This team can hurt you, and I'm so excited for Miggy Almiron. Comes from the MLS, making a name for himself in the biggest league in the world.
Yes.
Newcastle, to me, is interesting. I think their biggest problem is if they get injured, we're looking at guys like Emil Krath and Sean Longstaff and Jacob Murphy coming off the bench. I don't mean to disparage. They're all better soccer players than I am. But when Liverpool can call on Fabinho to come off the bench, ask yourself why Fabinho didn't start. If he was healthy enough for the bench, he's healthy enough to start.
Liverpool fans, we need you to weigh in on that.
City's got an entire second team sitting on that bench.
Oh, my God.
If you don't go deep in this league, you're not going to have much success. So Newcastle's next priority is to bring in a handful of players that can improve the team while also convincing some of these guys that have done well there, stick around. Absolutely stick around. So that was a long way to say Newcastle and City was honestly one of the best competitive and enjoyable matches I've seen in a while. And hopefully it tells us two things. Newcastle's going to be competitive all year long, and City is not going to run away with the league.
So what do you think, and I'm going to throw this out there because I want to hear what you got to say about this. What do you think about Brighton and Leeds? Is this like a match that's going to maybe set a course for one of those two teams to be like, look, we are for real. We are people that want to challenge for the top, not just top half, but the top, 6, top 4 of the league.
Ooh, I think for both of those teams, challenging for the top 4 is just a little bit outside. We've seen it with West Ham and Everton, probably most consistency. A lot more recently, Tottenham were hovering around before they've made the top 4. But they were hovering around, and we see how difficult it really is to maintain the consistency to get the points that you need at this level to challenge for those spots, and the depth. West Ham for the last couple of years now. That first 11's terrific.
Yeah.
But in the dog days of the league, when you hit February, March, and you're still competing on multiple fronts, and you need to run through, you got to be using 16, 17 guys every 3 to 5 days. They don't have it. Yeah. Brighton doesn't have that. And I don't think Leeds goes that deep, but I think Leeds is a better team. I think Leeds is going to be top 10 this year. Yeah. I'm a Man U fan, so it's just in our DNA to hate. It's Leeds and Liverpool.
Right.
To a lesser extent, City, because City weren't any good when I was a fan. When I was first with this team. But those are the 3 big rivals. But I'm an American, and I wasn't born there, so I don't have this ingrained in me quite as much.
Yeah.
And seeing Jesse Marsh,
Oh.
and Tyler Adams,
Aronson.
and Brendan Aronson doing what they're doing. Look, I tell you what, right now, if you're Greg Berhalter, does Brendan Aronson start over Christian Pulisic?
Okay, so I saw this. I saw this on several Chelsea, type pages and stuff.
By the way, Evan's mashing some of the really great seasoned fries that they have here.
my
I
God.
also recommend those. And if you really want to kick it up a notch, go garlic cheese chips. It's
Yes.
those seasoned fries with a garlic ranch dressing and shredded cheese. Also, if you want a little hack, get your fish and chips that way too.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're called crack fries, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, dude, for me, what I want to ask you is simply this: like the match that is coming up this weekend, that you are probably most excited about, other than Man U Southampton. What is it?
Real quick, I'm looking at the Saturday matches, and City Palace is going to be interesting. Now, I think City's going to be pissed.
Oh yeah,
But Palace have got game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Palace are another one of those teams that should be looking beyond 10th. They should be looking top 6. They should be
Wow.
looking to try to grab one of those extra Europa League, Europa Conference spots. They're probably not a top 4 team.
Sure.
But look, reach as high as you possibly can, and if you fall short, you're still pretty high off the ground. I think Palace, that first 11 is impressive. Again, they
Yeah.
just don't go deep enough, but that doesn't mean this early in the season, without injuries and stuff like that, I could see Palace turning around doing the exact same thing Newcastle did. I could see a 3-3 draw there.
Oh wow. Upset of the weekend?
Upset of the weekend. I think. Oof.
I know. I know what's tempting. I know what's tempting to say.
Man.
I get it.
I'm looking at this, and there's a part of me that wants to say that Arsenal's luck has got to run out at some point. I don't think Bournemouth has it in them to beat Liverpool. I think Leicester beats Chelsea.
Oh, I knew that's where you were going.
I hate to say it, and honestly, I don't think there's anything real big here, because I think Tottenham are going to handle Forest. I just don't see them. I mean, is Wolves beating Newcastle an upset? I mean, where they are on the table
I'm not
is
sure. Not sure.
Villa beating West Ham might be considered an upset, but I just don't think they're far enough apart. But tell you what, let's have some fun, and let's say Fulham beats Arsenal.
Oh wow. Okay. You know what? My friend. Love
I'm here
you,
for
man.
him.
Love you.
I'm here for him.
Here's
Chelsea Leicester is not going to be a pretty match.
No, it's not going to be. No, it's not going to be. Vardy's going to be pissed.
It needs to be a turf war. I mean,
does.
honestly, you guys need to turn that into an absolute turf war.
Yeah.
And just kick their asses.
Yes.
Because Leicester's on the ropes right now. You guys still have gravitas. You guys still have a personality about you.
Mm-hmm.
Missing a number 9, but that doesn't change the fact that there's talent all over that pitch.
Yeah.
Leicester, they're struggling. And I tell you, between now and then, they might be another couple players down, and one of them might be wearing your jersey.
That's true. That's very true. My upset of the weekend, honestly, I can't go with Arsenal Fulham. I can't do it. Arsenal is.
They look good.
They
do
look really good. They look really good. I'm going to say Bournemouth has it in them to go into Liverpool and to show that Liverpool is in trouble. What I saw from the Man U Liverpool match, like, they're in trouble. And I think Man U has now said, hey, Premier League, this is the way you play Liverpool without Sadio Mane.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way you do it. And I think teams are paying attention to that.
Yeah.
I think that, honestly, I really do believe that Bournemouth has enough legs to be able to play defense, to be able to frustrate Salah, to be able to frustrate Virgil on the defensive side. And I think they can sneak one. I think they can sneak one or two in.
I could see it, and you echo the sentiment. I read an article earlier today, and I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if it was a current player or not, but they said the blueprint for how to play against Liverpool is out there now. They can be gotten at in certain parts of the field, and everybody knows what their game plan is.
Yeah.
You know, what they want to do out of possession, in possession, that sort of thing. So you can plan for it. They're not a mystery anymore. City can hit you in so many ways that you can try to plan for a whole bunch of stuff, and then Kevin De Bruyne goes, look at this pass.
Right.
Liverpool have a very specific style of play right now that require a very specific 11, in my opinion, to be on the field.
Yes.
And if they're not firing, I'm with you.
They're vulnerable.
Let's go Cherries.
Hey, and you know what? We're going to jump to the Bundesliga for just a little bit. Mane, I agree what you said. Bayern has not skipped. They've not missed a beat.
Oh,
they're
even better.
They're even better because their play is more. It flows better across the pitch because of what Mane brings to the table. So I think that Liverpool misses Mane. I think we saw that on
absolutely.
Monday, and I think that teams will continue to exploit that. Now, does Bournemouth have enough firepower to get it done? I don't know, but that's why we call it an upset. That's why we call them the underdog in this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, those are our matches of the week to look toward, and that brings us to the Hey Aaron segment. I love that you did that. That's awesome. USA. I wanted to have fun tonight.
Let's do it.
I've been chomping on the little fries and stuff like that because my alcohol tolerance isn't what it used to be.
Also, man's coming straight
from work.
From the work.
Students got this today. They
Yeah.
got this today. They were like, "Oh, Professor Casey, you're a Chelsea fan." I'm like, "Yes, we took a big L this weekend, but at me on it." Anyway, tonight on the Hey Aaron segment, we are going to go to the World Cup.
All right.
All right, and even though we have our feelings about it,
We do.
we both love food.
Oh,
I love food.
yes.
I hope you guys love food. And Claire, do you love food?
I'm gonna need you to look at this and know that I love food. Okay?
Girl, you do you. That's
But yes, I love food. I could never
Yes.
work at a bar with crappy food. That is why I work here.
there you go.
Right from the mouths of babes.
Yes, yes.
We have all the food here.
Breakfast is new on the weekends, and it's fire, guys.
There you go. There
It's
you go.
excellent.
So come join us. So we're going to talk about food tonight, and I have 10 of the nations from the World Cup. And Aaron, I want you to tell me what you think your favorite food, or what you know your favorite food is,
All right.
from each nation.
All righty.
And I have 2 wild cards
All
that
right.
I won't tell you about, okay? But number 1, the Netherlands.
Oh, tell you, Netherlands is awesome because it is truly a melting pot of not just Europe, but sort of Central Europe and Asia and all that mixture. And so many people have unfortunately had to flee there at different times. But it's also just a major port, a major hub. And I'm going to be silly. My absolute favorite thing is Dutch Garni, which Dutch Garni is just an assortment of appetizery fried foods, but they're very, very clever. And specifically, they have automats called Fabo on certain street corners where you can go and you pluck in a euro, and you can get a chicken sandwich if you want. But my favorite are they'll just be a ball, or it'll look like an egg roll.
Okay.
And instead of being a hush puppy or an egg roll, it will be cream of chicken and rice inside an egg roll. Or it will be a spicy beef and cheese mixture in the little, I think they're called bitter balls. They're amazing.
Wow.
And at the end of a long, long day of doing the various things that you do when you are in Amsterdam, I have stood around with a pocket of euros and just eaten myself silly at the end of the night on the variety of things that you can get at a Fabo, and I would really like to open one on the corner in Broadrip Avenue.
Awesome. All right, my friend, we are going. We're going west, and we're going to the good old land of England. We're going to England. What is your favorite thing in England to eat, my friend?
Oh, wow. You know, the easy choice would be fish and chips. I do love fish and chips. They are fantastic, but I like a good sausage roll. You can get them at halftime of the games. You can get them as a snack at a lot of local pubs. Sometimes sausage, sometimes, it just kind of depends on what the local delicacy is. But a good sausage roll, a Greg's sausage roll, if you will. You can get a Greg's. A Greg's, it's like a morning breakfast place. Think of it like getting an Egg McMuffin from McDonald's, but you get a sausage roll from Greg's, and it's fresh, it's piping hot. It comes in a little paper sack, and you just eat it while you're walking on your way to work. It's delicious.
I love sausage. I love it. Oh, boy. Be taken several ways. But anyway, let's move on, shall we? Mexico.
People have such a misconception about Mexico, and honestly focus on most of the northern foods.
Yeah.
Mexico's massive, and their cuisine really spans a lot. But I tell you what I'm digging recently is elote. Whether it's on the stick or whether it comes in a dish, it's sweet corn with mayonnaise, cotija cheese, tahini spice, bit of lime on it. It's absolutely delicious. If you get it, I have a local taco truck just north of me in Broad Ripple, and it comes on the stick, and that's awesome. But you are guaranteed to just need to be hosed down when it's over, because eating Indiana sweet corn's messy on the best of days.
Yes.
You throw mayonnaise and cheese and all sorts of shit on there, it gets super messy. So I would recommend getting the little cup bowl of it if you can, but loving the elotes.
Okay, Aaron. Parlez-vous français?
Oui. Un peu, mais je suis... Wait, je parle.
Fermez le grand gros bouche. That's what I used to get told by my friend. Shut your big
Shut
fat
your
mouth.
big fat mouth.
What do you think, man? France. What would you like?
Croque monsieur, baby. I'm a street food kind of guy. All right, so when I visit the big cities, I love the street foods. So you go to New York, you got to get you a Coney dog, New York dog. You go to Chicago, you get you a Chicago dog. Yep. You go to Paris, get you a really, really good croque monsieur. It's nice and toasty and crunchy. Big, thick ham, really awesome cheese, all melty all over. And again, it's just a walk and talk kind of thing. Comes in a big plastic sack, grab you that, walk down the street, keep seeing the sights, man. Croque monsieur.
How about Sprechen Sie Deutsch? How about the German land?
Big fan of their sausage sandwiches. Went there for the World Cup in 2006.
Wait, they have sausage sandwiches too?
Yes.
What?
But
Why
different
have I
kinds.
not been there?
Different kinds of sausage sandwiches. It's really incredible. And they're on really nice, toasty little buns. And they're like two sausages cut in half.
I like toasty little buns.
So it's almost like a burger, but it's sausages like cut open.
Okay.
And then they whatever you want. But you know how in America you sit down and you get a bowl of maybe chips and salsa,
Okay.
or you get some peanuts, whatever. In Germany, you sit down and you get fresh, hot pretzels. You get big, just soft, mushy, doughy pretzels. And if you're up for it, they have this hot mustard. Comes in a little stone jar that's usually sitting on the table, and you open it up, and suddenly everyone within 5 feet of you can breathe better because of how strong that horseradish comes through. I'm not personally a fan of that, but I know plenty of people are. I'm fine with the breadsticks or the pretzel sticks by themselves, or with a little cheese, a little beer cheese.
Nice. Now, it's, at least for the untraveled, Belgium seems a lot like Germany, but are there any like specific Belgian dishes?
Fries. Absolutely, the hands down best fries you're ever going to have anywhere.
Wow.
They're anybody who went to Bruges here in Broderpool should know that. The best part of it is they're not they're really nice, fresh, crunchy, golden fries, and it's the kind of fry that you bite into it, good crunch, and then the middle is all that puffy, fluffy potato. But the best part is they've got but you usually get a homemade ketchup, a garlic aioli, a mustard. They've got a variety of dipping sauces. And again, as you can tell, I'm a fan of the snacks. Sometimes you don't need to just sit down and you're on the run, especially if you're going to be at the World Cup.
Yes.
Any of these places, you're going to stop at the Fan Fest and you get some of these different foods.
Yes.
Grab a handful of Belgian fries. They're the bomb.
Awesome. Okay, we are going to go to Portugal.
I went to Portugal in 2004, and I was a brokish young lad traveling by myself, did not speak the language, and they don't speak English like the rest of Europe does. So it was difficult at times, but very similar to what I've mentioned before. You go into a pub there, and they've got a variety of just little pub snacks, and it'll be like a big pastry ball. Sometimes it's sausage roll. Sometimes it's filled with like minced pork or something like that.
God.
But just great. And the best is pair it with a really nice, I'm trying to remember what the main brand of beer is there, but their local just lager.
Oh, wow.
Nice ice cold beer and a couple of those, you're set.
Wow. Okay, here are the two wild cards. Our friends to the north, Canada. I have an expectation, and I hope that you meet it.
Poutine is the obvious choice. It really is. And, it's French fries, melted cheese, and gravy. And the best part is they're fresh fries. Then you put cheese curds, so it's like thick pieces of cheese on top of the fries. The fries start to melt them, and then you pour this scalding hot gravy over the top of it, and it starts to melt. And the best part is this is one of those dishes that everybody starts messing with. Some people put a whole bunch more, like turn them into nachos and put like onions and other types of cheese and maybe even more meat on top of it. Some places go like a salady vibe, but poutine, Canadian poutine is the bomb.
Oh my God, my friend. Okay, wild card number 2. We are going all the way across the world to Japan, my friend. Japan. What do you think they've got for us, man?
Having never actually been to Japan, I have to rely on what I've gotten to experience in other big cities. Obviously, Indianapolis doesn't have the largest Japanese population, so I'm not going to sit here and say we've got super authentic Japanese restaurants. But I am indeed a sushi fan. And again, it is the kind of thing, you can get quick little bites of it and get on the go. And especially over there, they have the, I think they're izakaya. That might not be the right term, but they're little bars where they have little finger foods and things like that available. So that would be my recommendation, and I'm hoping to go to Japan sometime soon.
There you go. Last but not least, we're going to learn a little something about you, my friend. What is your favorite American cuisine to sit down to?
Well, it's fun that you've posed this question. What's up, bud? What's up?
Hey.
It's fun that you've posed this question because I think it's going to be exciting come the World Cup to talk about visiting the different cities that are going to provide, we've got Toronto and Vancouver.
Yep.
And Canada is going to, amazing melting pot of a city is Toronto.
Yes.
Not been to Vancouver. I'm excited for it. Then you've got your West Coast cities in America. You've got the Midwest. You've got the South. Got the Northeast. Got a little bit of Southeast with Miami and Atlanta. And then going to have Monterrey, Mexico City, and Guadalajara pretty close to one another in Mexico. So I'm going to say I'll probably change my mind on this several times between now and certainly Thanksgiving. Be ready for the day after Thanksgiving, folks.
There you go. There you
United
go.
States versus England at 11 a.m. We'll be here.
We're going to be like sleeping here.
Pretty much.
Jeez.
But I am going to say that, especially for foreign fans who will come here in 2026, and again, we'll talk more about this hopefully in 3 years when we're in syndication and have full sponsorships and have deals with people, and we can talk about other restaurants and bars.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to say right now, if you're planning to come to the United States for the World Cup in 2026, you better get your ass to Kansas City and have some barbecue.
Oh my God, man, that was awesome. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds so
I want
good.
some right now.
I want some right now, too.
And here's the thing, what you can do is you can go to Kansas City and get some of their barbecue, and then you can drive several hours south and end up in Texas and see how their barbecue compares, because it's two different kinds of barbecue, folks.
And then, if you get a wild hair, drive to the Carolinas and then try some Carolina barbecue.
Carolina barbecue.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Another satisfying Aaron.
Down Aaron's tummy.
Hey, Aaron segment. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you're watching us later, please make sure that you smash that button that says like and also subscribe, okay? We are so happy to be here with you, and now is the time that I get to hand it over to my best friend, Aaron, for his final thoughts. Aaron, what are you going to send us out with tonight, my friend?
Yep, just going to add to that real quick. Make sure you're following us wherever you enjoy. Facebook Live is great, and you can see us later on. They're always on our page, but we post to YouTube. We are on anchor.fm, which also sends out to Spotify. We're trying to get on Apple and whatever they do. But I'm an Android guy, so I don't really think about that all that much. And we're on Instagram. All of those, you can probably find us in some form or another if you search for the Red and Blue Soccer Chat or the Evan and Aaron Show, depending. But both of them work. The links are below in the description. You'll be able to find it. You'll be able to click on it, and you'll be able to follow us everywhere we go. My thought tonight is, I mentioned it earlier, Evan, being a fan's tough sometimes. Being a fan means sticking by a team that you have a tenuous relationship to at best. I'm not from Manchester, you're not from London, and yet we've found these teams that have become a home for us. We laugh with, we cry, we get angry, we yell at the TV, and we throw things. But at the end of the day, we stick by it because of the unity and the camaraderie we feel. And I got to watch that out of my team this weekend. I know sometime this season your team is going to come together and have a game like that and demonstrate that unity, because I see it amongst Azpilicueta and some of these guys. And that's what you've got to find in your fandom. It's tough. If you're following Nottingham Forest, that might be a tough season. But you didn't get here yesterday. You're a fan, and you're going to see them through thick and thin. It's weirdly like a marriage, okay? And there's going to be good days and bad days, but at the end of the day, you remember why you came here in the first place. And what you got to do, folks, is you got to believe. And when you find those things in life that you do believe in, give them all you got. Give them 110%. Let them know how much you love them, and you'll get it back in spades, folks. So, that's my spiel for this week. As Evan said, thank you so much for tuning in. Big shout out to Chatham Tap Fishers. Always loving the whole group. If you want to watch the game, I don't mean to promote the others, but get to Chatham Tap downtown for 7:30 kickoff for Manchester United, because they will be open at 7:15 there, and they've got their full breakfast menu going on as well. But otherwise, reminder, 10 a.m. here at Chatham Tap Fishers on Saturday. There will be breakfast. 11 a.m. Sunday, no breakfast. Hashtag say gay.
Hashtag Black People Vote. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is and has been for the entire hour the Red and Blue Soccer Chat, presented by the Evan and Aaron Show. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. We still are here, so if you want to come on out and join us, come on out. We love you. Take care. Peace.